This is nice. We finally get back to comics. Okay, so today's video is going to be a 3-part series. I'm going to make 3 different videos. I won't just make one long, like 10-15 minute one. I'm going to make 3 different ones because each one has its own piece, and I almost feel like this comic has 3 different chapters, really. So the first one that we're going to go over is one that I think is very interesting, and it's actually what happened at the Jedi Temple. We start with the first page as Ben has his lightsaber ignited, and I assume this is right after he quote-unquote killed Luke Skywalker. It captions the Jedi Temple of Luke, where Ben is looking on, and he seems kind of like he's sweating, he's nervous, he's like very confused. We see a ship arrive overhead, and it's 3 Jedi that weren't on the planet, they weren't on world. And one of them, this Xavier-looking dude, is like, I sense someone, Vo. I sense Ben. Oh, you 3. That's right. You were off planet. What happened here? He says. Where's Master Skywalker? They go through some dialogue, and Ben says that he tried to kill him in his sleep, and now he's dead. That cannot be! Master Skywalker would never hurt any of us, and you, Ben Solo, could never. What? What, Vo? You don't think I could do it? You don't think I'm strong enough in the Force? I'm stronger than all 3 of you put together. Skywalker made us act like we were all equal, but you all know the truth. I was the Temple's prize student. Ben then goes over his lines saying, I'm stronger than all 3 of you put together. Skywalker made us act like we were all equal, but you know the truth. He gets a little cocky at this point, and he's like, I was this Temple's prize student, and when it mattered, I was stronger than Luke Skywalker himself. So now he's just, he's going full Anakin Skywalker mode, kind of like, we're getting parallels between here and Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin was telling Padme that I can overthrow Palpatine, I'm even stronger than him, and this and that. Long story short, the Jedi basically tried to fight him, except for the one Xavier-looking guy, and it goes a little something like this. None of you are Jedi. Especially you, Vo. Just get out of my way. I won't be responsible for what happens if you force me to fight you. They try to fight him, he freezes them in the air. I'll take full responsibility. Vo, no, don't! I told you. Ben pretty much just overpowers all of them, then going on to raise the rocks with the Force, kind of like Rey did in The Last Jedi, but these ones are on fire, and then just hucks them at all of them. They realize he's far too powerful for them, and then they retreat, and Ben just says that he wants to go. He goes back to his ship when the droid says,
Master Solo, a pleasure to see you. Will you be requiring your ship? I am pleased to report that I just completed a full system tune-up. Also, I could not help but notice the rather large fire at the temple. Is everything all right? Can I assist?
They all blast off into space where they think of telling Leia, but they realize how stupid that would sound when Kylo intercepts them and eventually just takes out their main engines. Now, these guys obviously survive and they were still part of Luke's temple, so I'm wondering where they are in the galaxy now. But that's not really important. What's important here is that Ben starts to recollect his thoughts on what exactly just happened at the temple, and this is where the big meat of the matter is for the video. So these parts here are just actually Snoke's voice speaking to Kylo, and we know it's Snoke because in the next video, Kylo actually goes to Snoke's planet or wherever Snoke is, and it's like this weird plants place, and it's just like Snoke is full on hanging out with Poison Ivy or something like that. I don't know, he's just very different. And he looks a lot younger, which leads to my original theory years ago that I made that Snoke is regenerating, or there are different versions of him. Because, right, like the version we see in Episode 7 is completely different to the version we see in Episode 8. Like, he looks way older in Episode 7, and then in 8 he looks a little bit younger again, so it's just kind of confusing. So, Snoke, or rather, we know Palpatine is controlling Snoke this whole time, so Snoke says,
Skywalker feared you. Your strength. He was always small.
It recaps Luke trying to kill Ben in his sleep, which is still one of the most weird things that I've ever seen in Star Wars. It's so unlike Luke Skywalker, but that's neither here nor there. Ben leaves the hut, and this is the aftermath right after what just happened in The Last Jedi's flashback. He looks to the temple, and it literally combusts into flame and electricity. If there's one thing that's Palpatine, it's electricity, and that's, symbolizing that he's returned or he's doing this. Now, we saw in The Last Jedi that Yoda did this as well to the Force tree with the sacred Jedi texts, which we all know Rey actually has. So it's not really far off that Palpatine could have done this as well with Luke's Jedi Temple. Am I a fan of this? No, absolutely not. I think Palpatine destroying Luke's temple is just like God mode. Like, okay, well then why doesn't he just, I don't know, combust people into flame? Like, why doesn't he just like kill Luke Skywalker? Or, I mean, there are Force bubbles and shields, but I just think this really like undermines everything that we've been coming to learn for Kylo's arc, whereas, you know, we thought that he was the one who actually destroyed the temple and killed the students, but now we realize he didn't, so he's really not a bad guy. It's just confusing. I don't know. Kylo is blasted back, and he sees that people are dead. The Jedi Temple is on fire and exploded and in flames and pieces. He says, "No. No!" He tries to enter the temple to save people, and then he just gets thwarted back once again. Just like what Yoda did to Luke, but now, you know, Palpatine or Snoke is doing it to Ben. He's crying and looking at the flames saying, I didn't want this.
And you did not choose it, Ben. The Jedi did. Skywalker.
No, not Hosnian Prime. I'm going somewhere else. Ben says to the droid who was trying to take him back to Leia. And then the next episode, which I'm going to make right after this, it's going to cover it in its entirety. Ben goes to Snoke's planet, which is like the coolest looking, weird, multicolored planet I have ever seen. So stay tuned for that one. I'm going to make it right now, and I will see you in that video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have an awesome rest of your day, and may the Force be with you always.